Hi everyone, welcome back to Arm's Length Painting. Today I'm having a look at the news and other things roundup of the week or stuff I've read. It's not necessarily this week. Most of it is because generally I very rarely go back to read older articles, but occasionally I will. Or I'll see something and think, oh that's interesting, that's a good idea for Warhammer, D&D, whatever. Or indeed in this case, Blood Bowl. So I got an email from Games Workshop this week talking about their Blood Bowl releases, and I never knew 40 did such a cool set of models for Blood Bowl. I know they're very specific to Blood Bowl, but I sort of never found a team apart from possibly Goblins that's really clicked for me. But this is so good, this team. You grab it up. I mean, who doesn't want a Blood Bowl team comprised of scarecrows? Like, that's an orc, right? Or is that a ghoul? That's a skeleton. He's got orcs don't have such knobbly knees. She is a beautiful model. I love that one. I don't know what it is, but it's just something works about that one. And the balls being pumpkins, that just sells it for me. And then you get these grave markers, which I presume indicates someone's been murdered. Is that a ghost with a stabby thing? It looks like he's got a thing on a rope. Might be. He's also nicked someone's washing line. Yes. Yes. These models are awesome. Let's move on to Lord Croak. If you've been a Lisbon player, or Seraphon as they are now, you might recognise Lord Croak. He's a big slan. I don't know if I like this model or not. This is too Necron-y for me. I know he's meant to be a really powerful wizard, but something just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, I don't like the outer ring of the model. I like the middle bit. This is nice, this platform. You could just have, but this wouldn't hold it up, would it? There wouldn't be enough plastic there. I wonder if you bought it, if you could get away with moving this bit across and popping it in, say, here, and using that as a support. Or would it be possible to put some brass rods up here and here, and then run some vines around them in green stuff? I'm not sure, but I like the model in the centre. I like the skink with him. I like this bit. I just don't like this outer section. I especially like the jungle growing through it. That works. Let's move on to Super Size Me. Blood letters and everything. That they got a bit bigger because Be'lakor and Lord Croak. Gazgul has got massive as well. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the supersizing trend. I don't like it because I feel like they're getting ridiculous. Like, I didn't mind Gazgul, he was a bit small, that's fine. Be'lakor, fine, he's a demon prince, but I don't agree with a lot of this article. Yarrick should not get any bigger. He is a human commissar. That's it. That makes him even cooler. The fact he's a human commissar, lost his arm, got a power claw, and has lost an eye and installed a laser eye. Because the orcs already believe that he can kill people with his gaze, so he put a laser eye there just to make sure he could actually do it. Then, mind you, because the orcs believe it, it probably would have happened anyway. I mean, he needs a new model, perhaps, although I still don't think the Yarrick model itself looks bad. I mean, he's a little bit dated, but I still don't actually have a big problem with him. It's more his face. He looks a bit like a ghoul from Fallout. But the rest of it, no real problems, to be honest. That's fine. I think, if anything, what you could probably do it more is doing the basic infantry. Give me something other than Cadians. Because I don't know if anyone's seen, there's a shop called Victoria Miniatures. Because they do some absolutely fantastic models. I mean, they're all resin, they're a bit like 40-year-old. And the only thing that stopped me buying from them in the UK is the fact that they're based in Australia. I think they ship from America now. But, okay, say I wanted to buy the Desert Scorpions 10-woman team. $60. What's that, about 50 quid? Okay, that's bloody expensive for a start, for 10 warriors, although it's no more expensive than Death Corps of Creed, probably, to be fair, which is also another awesome set. But, okay, I ship it over. I've now got to pay my 8 quid customs charge, plus 20% of the bill, so I've got to pay about another 12 quid. It's 20% of the bill above a certain amount. Too expensive, really. But yeah, if you're looking for amazing looking Imperial Guard alternatives, Victoria Miniatures is the place, to be honest. Let's put this into pounds, actually. Oh, 36 quid. I mean, that's expensive. But if I was actually doing a guard army that was, say, heavily mechanised, I could probably justify it because of how cool these look. I'm not a big fan of the Arcadian Guard. They're a bit plain. But there are some... the Brilliant Beast Guard, like the Beastmen Imperial Guardsmen, they're cool. Border Rangers look okay. Look a bit... not the biggest fan of that aesthetic. Then they do things like this. Corporal Tucky, who is quite clearly just eating some KFC. Other brands of chicken are available. Desert Scorpions are just like a better version of Talons. The Hexheim Stormtroopers, I love them. They're amazing. Highland Moss. Look, they've got kilts and everything. I mean, what more is there to not? What is there to not like? Penal Legion, if you want it. Ravensburg Siege Corps. These are more my sort of style. I like these. They do the Radhounds. They do Snow Troopers. They do random tank crews. Tannenberg Fusiliers, including firing squads. First rank fire, second rank fire. Canadians, not Canadians. I mean Australians. British army from like the Victorian era, hence why they're called the Victorian Guard. I was so tempted to pick up some of these at some point because I like the red coat aesthetic, and they just have fantastic moustaches. Although they are in resin and they are bloody expensive, and I would probably have to pay customs charges on them. So Victoria Miniatures, if you want to resell from the UK, I'll be there. Well, the other thing I haven't really mentioned, but it's pretty obvious, is the fact that they do female models as well. So if you want female guard, Victoria Miniatures are your guys and girls. Because basically all they've done, which is fine, is slimmed them down a little bit and then put a female head on the top. Which is basically all you need to do for guards. I mean, they're not like Sister of the Battle, they're not wearing boob plate or anything, so go for it. I kind of feel like we got on a bit of a tangent there about Imperial Guard models. And while we're there, also do the Orcs and the Eldar, thank you. In fact, here's an idea. Anything that's got troops older than 10 years, have a look at the models and possibly look at replacing them. I mean, to be fair, I think Orcs still hold up. They're fine. I like that old boys model. But loads of people don't, and I can see why, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to not like it. I do agree that Fortress of Arrogance looks dated now. Although, what have they really changed about the Baneblade chassis? Not much, actually. It doesn't look right about it. It needs more sponsons. That's what it needs. And less of this sloped armour nonsense. Just get me a big box. What else have we got? Unvar? Sure, he's dead? Is he? He's another one that I don't think we need to make massive. I mean, redo the model, fine. I wouldn't necessarily be upset to see it go, but I also don't dislike it much. Maybe we could give him a bigger pulpit. Let's give him a proper plate-mobile. Let's put him in a car and stick him out the roof of a box. But yeah, I don't think he looks bad, to be honest, that model. I've got no idea who this is, so I'm just going to skip over it, okay? Fulgrim, yeah, we'll probably get a Fulgrim model at some point, given the fact we've got Mortarion and Magnus. Yes, we've got the 1,000 Suns and the Death Guard. Yeah, to be fair, Marathi would probably work. Ditch the dress, maybe. Yeah, I agree with that. Fabulous hair. Yeah, Fulgrim would be pretty fabulous. Swarmlord. The Tyranids, just in general, need some loving, to be honest. Basically, no one actually seems to have cared about the Tyranids. It's about 2014. I can't remember when their last launch was, but it was ridiculous. I remember them coming out because I used to play with someone who played Tyranids. And they came out and they actually got tabled by my Orc army, which is impressive, given the fact that my Orc army got tabled by literally anything that could shoot. Yeah, he's a walking... He's not... He does. I don't think the Tyranid models have aged badly, actually. I like him still, because they're pretty distinctive. Although I would argue that you could make him bloody massive, because he's a Tyranid. I have no problem with that. Go ahead if you want to, Games Workshop. Who do I think needs supersizing in the grimdark of the 41st millennium? That's an awkward one, because I'm not actually a big believer in necessarily making the models bigger, because it just seems like you're making them bigger just so you can try and charge me more for them a lot of the time. I'd sort of like to see a new Defiler model, because I have a Defi in my cupboard, and it's a lovely model, but I like him so much I'd like a new one. Let's also, while we're there, get some decent Defcopters. Basically, games, if we want, I can send a big wish list into Games Workshop of what I'd like. I don't think they should replace the tank busters. Put them in plastic, sure, please do. But I like these tank busters. I especially like the big orc that's got like a greatcoat on, chucked over one shoulder, and just like casually got a rocket launcher hanging off of one arm. Oh, could we have some new grot guns as well? I think we did get them actually, but they were just so bloody expensive I never bought them. They were like 30 quid for 20 points. Oh, and while we're there, can I have individual snotlings, Gretchen, goblins, and nurglings to put on bases? Nurglings especially, because I can't really snip the nurglings out the stack. Well, that's that sort of wish list done. Let's see what else we got for this week. The true power behind the Wargamer's throne. Now, I'm less excited about the model here. I'm more excited about what it might represent. The Legion Dispatch, the first in a regular series of articles. Are we getting more Games Workshop Horus Heresy stuff? Will we get another version of Betrayal of Calth? because that was a good box set, and I wish I bought the second one, but I didn't. Malakhurst was he's in Horus Rising. He is basically almost a political advisor as a Space Marine. So he's probably like not Peter Malcolm Tucker, but probably with less swearing, because he had a big crash when they were trying to take the planet. Because as Loken says, I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. I love that start. Just because there's a planet, I think, is it 6319 is on there? That's probably that one, where there's a guy who's declared himself the Emperor, and he sits on a golden throne, and the Space Marines smash that planet to bits, take it over, and then Horus comes down himself because the Emperor refuses to surrender to anyone else, although it's the Emperor who's just basically an advisor, an assistant sitting on the throne. Then I think the Emperor himself... No, he's standing in front of the throne, and then I think he tries to blow Horus up. But Horus is a Primarch, so DGAF. And then the Emperor himself, I believe, is like this corpse on the golden throne. It's just foreshadowing at its finest. Well, it's not its finest. It's most bloody obvious bludgeoning you over the head, but I liked it. It fits in the 40k aesthetic. We've got the new model. Now, I've seen a couple of people saying this looks like it's plastic. Now, because of the sharp edges. Now, I'm not going to comment on the detail between resin and plastic, because to be honest, I can't really tell. So, but the model looks pretty cool. I don't like this cracking they like doing on their heads. I mean, sure, put scar lines on it, but this just looks like his head is a tectonic plate. The rest of the model is pretty cool. It's also painted very well, which obviously helps. He's got the Eye of Horus, the 16th Legion. I prefer these as Lunar Wolves, but I guess unless you're going to make two complete sets, it's a bit awkward to do Lunar Wolves because they won't have the eyes. Actually, I think they did have the Eyes of Horus, so you probably could get away painting him as a Lunar Wolf. And it's this pose as well. It's just the fact that like this is not really supporting the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is basically holding him up because he's so broken, even in full Mark 3 plate. I want to say it's Mark 3. I think Mark 4 was Heresy pattern. But yes, I like him. He's a good model. Got White Kings, more than just fancy bat hats, not black hats. By the looks of it, it's a new death battle tone for Age of Sigmar, the Soulblight Gravelords, which I think are essentially the vampire counts coming back. Maybe not, that looks more skeleton. That looks almost Tomb Kings, although the Tomb Kings are dead, and I'm very sad. Maybe they'll resurrect themselves at some point. He is a very nice model. He's not all white, he's amazing. Bonus points for the pun, whoever wrote this. Do these actually have a writer on them? I don't think they do they? But yes, I like these models a lot. I really like the death cloak thing and all this going on. It's got a lot of nice little details. They've got a little potion vial here somewhere. They've got like a skull used as the cape clasp rather than just like a buckle, which is used on this side. The face works as well. It's just a good all-round model. I'm less sure about the foot position because I can't see all around it, but it seems to be covering up this. You can order this bad boy white now. And let's be honest, the puns are good as well. But yeah, I do like the Undead Army looks. I prefer them to straight vampires, but that looks more vampire-y to me. So it's possible we're getting them. Who are the White Kings and why are they in the vampire book? Yes, so there's more than just vampires. Sounds like it's all the armies of death, which I think is how the battle tomes work. They basically cover almost everything in the death collection. Don't quote me on that, I've never played Age of Sigmar. And finally, we have a humble bundle. Just I thought I'd make you aware of. It's the Black Library section, which is basically Games Workshop. There's a load of Imperial Guard novels in here. Couple of Space Marines and some more Space Marines. But yeah, I actually really like the Dark Library stuff, Black Library stuff. I'm definitely going to pick up this one because I've been quite looking forward to reading some of the Acadian stuff. And the Imperial Guard Sabbath Worlds are meant to be pretty good. They made a big map of that at some point. So yeah, I just thought you might want to know that exists. Okay, in other non-Games Workshop miniature news, there's some more medieval looking miniatures. Well, 1066, that's early medieval, right? Early, middle and late medieval periods. There's some 1066 models coming out if you want to reenact the Battle of Hastings, for instance, which actually occurred at battle as far as I'm aware, although I don't think we really know where it was exactly, but close enough. There's some pretty nice looking models here. They're pretty unique. You don't see this sort of lot, which is like just basically the rank and file of medieval armies. You tend to see a lot of knights and that. And people are all dressed up in armour, but these guys just look like they've just turned up from the field and been given a bow, which I like. I like the models, actually. But then again, do I really need any more? I don't know, but there's a Kickstarter going up on the 20th. I must not back any more Kickstarters. Oh, they're 3D printables. Where do I miss this? But if you want some 3D printable Holy Roman Empire troops, that look pretty nice, actually. They would probably fit quite well into the Empire from Warhammer as well. 30 quid or $30, but it may be worth a look. It's up to you. Then we have a new release from Northumbrian Kin's Soldier called Guards. The only reason I really like this is the name is basically almost the same as the Terry Pratchett book from Discworld, the Guard series being the best Terry Pratchett books from the Discworld series by a long shot, in my opinion. And you see these geese? They, I believe, are the commander and the sergeant. They are Sergeant Honk and Norbert Billington. They're in charge. And then you have some other ones that look a bit Romany on this side. And this also comes with dice, but you can, I believe, buy them without dice. I think you can buy them individually. They do just do a lot of minis. I need to go through these at some point. Yeah, you can buy them individually. Like you can buy the geese, which are allegedly the commanders. So that's all from me, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Bye.